back to my channel Brainy Bunch. Let us continue with our series of Python. In this session, we are going to learn about the sets and what are the different operations and methods that we can perform on the data type called sets. First of all, what made us to move to the sets data type and what is the use of sets? Let us discuss. The first thing is what made us to move on sets in Python. Because sets cannot have multiple occurrences of same element. It makes sets highly efficient. So we can perform any math operations like union and intersection, subsets, supersets, disjoints, etc. And these are the math operations that we can perform on a data type called sets. If you don't want any duplicates, we can definitely use this set data type in our program or projects. And there is a real life example of sets. Let us consider the kitchen. And kitchen is the most relevant example of sets, as our mother always keep the kitchen well arranged in an ordered way, and the plates are kept separate from the bowls and cups. This gives a clarity that where our elements are defined or declared in a set. So these are the two advantages of the sets that we can definitely use in our program whenever you do not want to use any duplicate elements in your list or program. So next, let us move on to the slide that we are going to discuss today. So first, let us start with set definitions. And so let us see with the definition of set and how can we create a set using. And this is the third one of mutable data type sets. So next, the slide representing sets. We can create a set by placing the elements within a curly braces and separating each element with a comma. And we can also declare or represent an empty set by defining set function. And next one, it can have any number of date items. They may be of different types like integer, float, tuple, strings, etc. And empty curly braces will make an empty dictionary in Python. As we have seen that the empty dictionary can be declared by using just representing of curly braces. But when you want to declare a set, we can use just set function without any argument. And this is the difference between an empty dictionary and an empty set. So let us see empty dictionary and an empty set. Let me define an empty dictionary with the curly braces and checking a type of it. Type of T gives me that it is a type of dictionary. So D is an instance of the class dictionary. When I want to declare an empty set, simply I use a function called set function that itself declares me a set. So can we check the type of S now? Exactly, it would return as set because I had used a set function. So S is a variable of an instance of class set. So in this way, we can declare or define our empty set when you want to declare. So this itself represents a set definition and the representations in the curly braces. And these are some built-in functions that we can use in our set. Len, max, min are same at here. Sorted is also same, but the extra functions are all, any, and some. Here, enumerate is generally used as an object to provide an index for all the elements in the set. This is used for to generate an index on the set. So let us see first with built-in functions of len, max, min. So just sample one, create a set by using a curly braces and no duplicate elements are allowed. And just for a clarification, let me type a duplicate elements and what would the error shows us. Let us see. As I had taken duplicate elements because it has treated as so 1, 2, 3, 4. See, if you provided duplicate elements, whenever you forget that you are declaring a set and you had assigned a duplicate elements in your set, automatically the duplicate elements are removed. That means only the occurrence of one is treated. So when you observe right here, as I taken 4 2 times, but when I try to print the set1 S1, so it has given me the occurrence of 4 is as only 1. So this itself represents the set does not allow any duplicate elements, and there is no error that is to be generated when if you forget to say that there are no duplicate elements. So we can try this obviously. So let us check first for let's len function, len of S1. Len is used to return the length of the total set that you are having, how many number of elements in your set. So right now I had declared only four elements in a set. So it obviously returns a 4. So 4. And maximum element in my set is of 4. So it has displayed 4. So minimum element in my set 1. So it 1 has been displayed. So len max min are completed. As I given or declared all the elements in my set are in sorted order, even though it has been sorted. But let us check again. Sorted of S1. The sorted order is given, and when you sort the elements of a list, it would return you in the form of list. So set when you pass a set, what are the elements in a set? When you pass it to the sorted function, it would return to you in a list form. So whenever you take in a list, you can try this. Sorted is also same for list, tuples, and etc. Len min max, sorted, completed. As yesterday I had said that all is used to check whether all the elements in your list, dictionary, tuple, or set, it checks only for the true. Okay, now let us check all of S1. In the S1, I do not have any elements like zeros. Generally, you treat 0 as false and true as 1. So in my set, all the elements are true. That means there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is no 0. So generally, it would return true. So it has given me true. And any of S1 also would return me true because no elements or any element in my set is of 0. It has given true. So this is of all and any, len, min, max. And enumerate is just used to, it just returns to us an object. When you use with any control structure like for or in, it would return correctly an index. Let us see after when we discuss about the control structures. And this one, sum function, we had missed it. Let us take a new ideally as my screen is okay. A new ideally it has been loading, and now the same set I'm going to take to understand. So S1 is a set displaying. I want the sum of all the elements in my list. So simply I'm going to type sum of S1. It would return the total sum which are present in the set 1 element. So the sum of all the elements is 10. These are the built-in functions that we can use on our sets. And the next slide represents what are the methods that we can perform on the sets. Let us see one by one with an example. First, let us add an element to the set. I am going to add an element like 5 to my set. Successfully taken an element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is given, obviously. Next one is copy. Let us copy. When I want to copy all the elements of the set 1 to set 2, just simply take a variable called s2 and just call s1 dot copy. Successfully creates an exact copy of all the elements in S1 are transferred to S2. So let us print S2, and these two are having different addresses. Don't bother about it because we had taken a new variable and assigned it to it. So they are having both different addresses. So add and copy are completed. Clear is used to clear all the elements in your set. So let us discuss at the last because we need the elements for the next methods. So copy completed, add is completed, differences. Difference is used to return a set containing the difference between two or more sets. So let us see difference, exactly what it means. Let us take another set like S3 because S1 and S2 are having the same elements. So S3 I would take for random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 are having in it. And I'm going to take 1, 5, 6, 7. And these are the elements that I'm going to store in my set 3, and I would like to print it 1, 5, 6, 7. So differences we are going to see now. S1 dot difference of S3. See what would return to me. 2, 3, 4. What is the meaning of difference? The difference method is used to return what are the elements which are not present in the set S3. So S1 and S3. First check what are the elements in S1. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the elements in S1. And S3 is having 1, 5, 6, 7. Do you observe 1 is the common element in both of the sets? When you try to apply the method difference between the two sets, it is used to return the elements which are not present in the other set. So when I try to return the elements of S1 and S3, it had deleted 1 and written the whole list of S1, that is whole set of S1. So this is the usage of difference. Whatever the elements in S1 and S3 are not common, they are given to me. So this is of difference. Difference update is used to whatever the output 234 is returned to me, that 234 is updated to the set 1. That is the total set is modified after applying the differential. So let me print S1. So S1 1 2 3 5 is in the same form. After applying difference update, let us see. Difference update in the sense update the total set, whatever the output of the set has been, that is going to be update in the S1. So S3, no, S3. See, successfully the output of difference is updated to S1. So let us check by pressing S1. So when you observe the print of before S1 and the print of after S1 is, the output of difference is updated in S1. So this is the difference update uses. And the next one is difference update is completed, discard. Discard is used to remove the specified element that we want to delete. So I used to delete S3 dot let me take any new ideally. So it is an end of S3 equals to 1, 5, 6, 7, and this is the S3, and S1 we had updated just 2, 3, 4. Okay, sorry, S1 equals to 2, 3, 4. Okay, successfully we had done two lists. And next one, I am going to delete an element in the set by using a discard method. Just simply S3 dot discard of one specified element that we are going to delete. I am going to delete a 5. So let us see. Successfully the element 5 has discarded from my set. Let me display S3. So 5 element has been deleted. So discard is used in this way. And then intersection. Intersection is when you apply intersection between two sets, it returns the common element which is in both sets. Let us check. S1 dot intersection of S3. As we are not having any common element in these two sets, so it has given me an empty set because there is no common values in my two sets. Let us see whether when we have a common element, what would return. So I am taking a list called S4 and 2, 3, 2, 3, 7. In S4, I am having these elements. Let us compare S1 with S4. Any intersection values we are having? Yes, we are having that 2, 3, and it would return it S1 and S4. So these are the common elements which I'm having in both sets like S1 and S4. Intersection is used to return the common elements in having both the sets. Intersection updates. It is also the similar of difference updates, which is used to update the output of intersection to the set whatever we had specified to the left of the dot. Let us check again. Intersection underscore update. I'm going to update the set S1. So when I try to print S1, the 2, 3 values are updated to my set. Okay. Intersection update is completed. Is disjoint. The is disjoint is used to check whether your two sets are having any intersections or not. So let us check S1 and S4. S1 dot is disjoint of S4. False. Because S1 is having of 2, 3 and S4 is having of 2, 3, 7. Disjoint is used to return the null intersections. Mean true if none of items present in both sets. False if items present in both sets. Okay. Here it has been displayed false because we are having an elements like 2, 3 in both of the sets. If 2, 3 are not common in both of sets, it would return true obviously. Disjoint is used to return true if none of the item presents in both sets. Next is subsets. This is used to return whether another set contains this set or not. Let us check it. S1 dot is subset of S4. So I'm going to check whether these two are having a subset or not. It would return a boolean of true or false. So true, because what are the elements in S1? 2, 3. And S4 is obviously having 2, 3, 7. And S4 is a subset of S1. That is only the two elements 2, 3 are common in both S1 and S4. So it has given me a true. So this is the meaning of subset. Just the sum of the elements can match in the another set. So subset is used to compare in this way. Superset. Superset is also in the same way. Let us see. S1 dot is superset of S4. It has given me false because whatever the elements in the S4, let us consider S4 is having 2, 3, 7 and S1 is having 2, 3, 4. Subset is in the sense some of the elements can match, and the superset is in the sense total elements what are having in S4 should match with S1. But in our case and in our example, S1 is having an element like 4 and S4 is having like element like 7. So it has returned to us false. Superset in the sense it need to be matched whole set with the other set. Okay. Again we can take ideally. Okay. Disjoint, supersets and subsets completed. Discard is used to remove the specified item and pop is used to remove just the element from the set. Okay. Remove and the discard are the purpose of same, but there is a difference between them. Let us see practically. First, let us declare a list again. 1, 2, 3, 4. As I had said that pop. So let us pop one element. It would obviously pop the element which is in the first. So 1 has popped from the set. Next, remove. Remove is also used to delete a specified element. So I am going to remove a specified element like 3. S1. So 3 is obviously deleted. So again I am going to remove. So let us check even discard 2. Discard S1 dot discard of 3. See here 3 as I am already deleted. So let us check whether it displays any error or not. S1 dot discard of 3. It doesn't show any error when you use a discard. When you try to delete any non-existing element in your set with the method called discard, it doesn't provide any error. But if you try to remove a non-existing number by remove method, it definitely shows us an error like key error. This is the difference between discard and remove. Because discard doesn't show any error, remove compulsory shows us an error like key error. Okay. Next, pop, remove are completed. Symmetric differences. Symmetric differences, let us check. Union and update. These are both. Let us see what is a symmetric difference. Just symmetric difference is of set of elements in AB but not in both. That is excluding of intersection. As we have seen that intersection returns as the common elements in both of the sets. This is slightly completely opposite of intersection. Symmetric difference itself returns the elements which are not common in both the sets. So let us see that how it's possible. S1 dot symmetric difference. As I had said that it returns the elements which are not common in both the sets. S1 dot, another list we need to take right now. S2 equal to 2 and 4 are the elements that are remained in my set. So I am taking one common element, 2, 3, 5, 6. And these are the elements in S2. I am going to apply symmetric difference. Symmetric difference of S2. So it is going to return the elements of both the sets of not common. See, I had taken 2 in the both common sets, so it does not return to me 2, and rest of the elements are displayed in my set S1. Symmetric difference update is also works in the same way, updates the output of the symmetric difference and stores it in the S1. Okay, let us check. Symmetric difference update of S2. Let us see. S1. So I had updated successfully the output of symmetric difference to the set S1. This itself includes the symmetric differences and symmetric difference update. Let us check update. S1 dot union is left as no. Okay, union and updates. Let us check union. S1 dot union of S2. As you all know that the uses of union, it removes the duplicate elements and combines both the sets. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as the occurrence of 2 is made of only 1. Let us check even update 2. Again, I'm going to open ideally. 2 sets like S1, 2, 4 are left in my list. S2 equal to 2, 2, 3, 5, 7. Let us use update. S1 dot update of S2. Let us display S1. And this update is also the same purpose of union. It removes the duplicate elements and only prints one occurrence of an element in the set. These are the methods that we can apply on the sets. And there is another type of sets. These are called as frozen sets. Generally, frozen set is also having a characteristics of same as set. But the elements which once we can assign to the frozen set are never be changeable. These frozen sets are similar to the immutable data types that we have seen the tuple one. Frozen set is used to declare, we can even declare an empty frozen set or the elements. This frozen set of empty can be declared by using a frozen set. For the normal set, we can just use a set. Being immutable, we cannot have methods that add or remove the elements in the frozen sets. But we are having some small functions such as superset, subset, as we have seen in the sets, same in the sets format. Let us see how can we declare the frozen sets right here. Let me make copy of it. Open my ideally. Okay. Just for an sample, let us declare an empty frozen set and check the type of it. So it has given me an empty frozen set. Type of A obviously gives it is a type of frozen set. So A is an instance of frozen set. Now we can keyboard interrupt had. Sorry. So this is the frozen set that I'm going to declare right now and assigning to a variable called capital A or small d. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are the elements that in my frozen set. So let us execute it. Successfully the set gets executed. Let me display. It is a frozen set of 1, 2, 3, 4. See it right here. The elements are between the curly braces. So it is also a type of set. But while declaring, it is to be in the open parenthesis, and inside the elements need to be in the square brackets. Let us try to delete an element from the frozen set or add an element. So d dot add of 5. It definitely shows me an error because frozen sets are immutable. So traceback attribute error, frozen set object has no attribute like add. So frozen sets are just used for an immutable data types. Whenever you are not interested to update your frozen sets, you can use our frozen sets. So this itself includes our set session right now. And these are the methods as E subset, symmetric difference, intersections are N unions we had used in declaring of sets and methods. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching my video. Please do like, share. Have a nice